Welcome back to Papa's These Bees. Today it's the 8th of December. We have a warm day, but we're going to have some cold weather following. We're going to do our winter oxalic acid vaporization. Now, we've done these in the past, or in the spring, when we've countered high mite loads. But in the winter, we do it for a little different reason. For one thing, at this point in time, at least here, the queen has not started laying the fat body or the winter bees. So therefore there should be no capped brood. Oxalic acid works extremely well, real high efficiency, when it's not trying to get into the brood, because it will not penetrate capped brood. So at this point, with all the bees out of capping and all the mites are on the outside of the bees, then we can do an oxalic acid vaporization and get almost all of the mites, which will help them as they go into the winter. So what they'll do next is they'll start laying probably within the next month. They'll be laying their winter bees, and hopefully there won't be too many, if any, mites that crawl down in there. And again, if you're not sure with what the mites do, is they look like little ticks, but they're tiny, tiny. They will go in and they'll find a cell that has a larvae in it that's about to be capped. And they're smart enough to know to crawl down inside of that when it's capped, and then after it's capped, then the mite starts feeding on the larvae. Well, when it does, it puts a lot of viruses in it. Probably one of the worst is this deformed wing virus. That means the bee cannot fly. So what we're going to do is we're going to do each of our hives. We're not going to test them because it doesn't matter at this point what the mite load is. We just know because of temperatures in the hives and so on that they're broodless. So therefore we're going to do this, and this should take care of most of the mites. Now let me show you what we're going to use. We use the Lorabees 110 volt vaporizer. We put oxalic acid in these little cups, then we turn this upside down and put the cup, force the cup, it's a silicone cup, force it up into that, put it into the hive through this hole and turn it, and then as soon as it does that, the oxalic acid will fall down into the little copper cup here, and it will sublimate or turn to gas and come out through here and get in all of the hive. Now, I won't be able to talk to you when we're in there, because one of the critical things is that you wear two things. If you're going to be doing this, you want to get a good 3M mask. It's a specific kind of mask, and I'll put it in the footnotes of this video. It's important that you do this because you do not want to breathe in that oxalic acid vaporization. For our physiology, it will hurt our lungs. It does not hurt the bees at all. It's what they call a miticide. It will kill the mites, but it will not kill the bees. Also, you should wear goggles, good goggles that will keep your eyes clear, because again, you don't want that stuff in your eyes because it will burn. It won't do as much damage as breathing it would, but it will still do damage, and so therefore you do not want to go without these if you're putting in the vaporization. So we actually recorded this after we did the vaporizations because I needed to get them done because I had them closed up. So as we go through this, again, I'll be pointing at things, and I'll probably do a voiceover video after to kind of keep you going what's going on. So we'll do all 4 hives, but we'll cut it down real short so you don't have to do every single step. But we basically, the vaporizer needs to be at 400 degrees before you start. Turn it upside down again with the oxalic acid in there, and once you turn it over and that stuff drops, the temperature will go down to sometimes as much as 250 degrees. You have to wait till it gets back up to 400, and that's the full cycle on the oxalic vaporization. So hope you enjoy this, and I hope you learned something. And please take care of your bees. Well, here we go. We're at the horizontal hive, and I'm showing you that the temperature of the vaporizer is at 435 degrees, and we're going to pop the little silicone with full of half a teaspoon per box into the little receiver hole there that I've drilled in each of the hives, with the exception of the apame, and I'll show you that in a second. So you can see I'm pointing to the screen there, or on the vaporizer, and you can watch it count up. Now, I'm not going to make you sit through all of the temperature because it goes pretty slow once you get it started. So we'll cut from 275 to about 385. So you can see at this point it's reached the temperature and the vapor is coming out. We've closed off that hive, and now we're going to go to the efficay hive. The thing different here, since this is a plastic hive, and the nozzle gets so hot that you can't just put it in there. So what I've done is for what Fred Dunn has used, I used a little wood dowel with a hole through it just big enough for the vaporizer nozzle to go through. We'll go ahead and pack the oxalic acid cup into the vaporizer, and then we'll put it in one of the holes that are used for ventilation there, and the wood is what is touching the plastic. So there's a hole back behind where I'm sticking this. So this really kind of works out well. Thank Fred Dunn for this, but as always, thanks Fred Dunn for just about anything he does. He really has been a help to me. So you can see there we've reached the temperature. We've got the front of that hive closed off so the bees cannot get out, because you want to make sure you get all of them. And if they're running away from it, they're not going to get all of it. So here we go. So that's those two hives. Now we're going to do our two flow hives. First thing we're going to do is put a little cover on the front over the little small opening. We've got it closed down pretty good, but we want to cover it up again to keep the bees inside. We're going to use the little cup to pop the crystals in, and then we're going to let it do what we've done every other time, and that's let it get back up to the 400-degree temperature. And as it does, every little crack will show you the vapor coming out, and of course in the flow hives it'll come out through the bottom board. So you can see it's counting up, and again, I'm not going to make you sit through all of it. We're going to cut away, and you can see it count on up there. So we're at over 400, so we'll take it out, and then we'll go on to the next stuff. You can see there, it's almost all gone. That thing was packed tight and full when we started. So it's sublimated or turned to gas, all of that oxalic acid, which is good. I'm going to take my little cover there that I've made, a little short cover, and we'll put it back over the opening on the reduced opening, at least on the flow hive. And then we'll repeat the same process, just rinse and repeat. And that's take the cup that we've already had measured. It's always good to have extra these little cups. You can pre-measure, get these things all set up and ready, so you won't have to worry about getting it all done, taking the mask off and on, because that's the biggest problem. Same thing again, as usual. We're going to let it count up. You can see it's down in the almost 300-degree range there. And then we're going to cut away and cut back when it's about 100 degrees hotter. We're cutting out about probably 2 minutes per hive, so it doesn't take that long. In fact, the whole process of doing all 4 of the hives takes about 20 minutes. I'm showing off my equipment there. Again, as I said in the opening, it's extremely important that you cover up both your breathing and your eyes. So this thing will count back up to 100, and we'll be finished with it. Here we go. Take it away. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to cut away to some videos that will show you the next day, just to show you what kind of a mite drop was on the following day. So here we go. Less than 24 hours after the oxalic acid vaporization, this is the tray under the corner hive, and you can see all those dots are dead varroa mites. That means the treatment worked. On the horizontal hive, you can see all those dots, dead varroa mites. Again, treatment worked. Okay, this is the tray on the kitchen hive. You can see there's not nearly as many dead mites in here as there were back in the corner hive and in the horizontal hive. This hive, when we tested it, last time we tested it, was pretty low. But the good thing about going ahead and doing the treatment in this time of year is if you get rid of all the mites, it really helps you when it comes to springtime.